Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious. Ali is happy when Moors are happy. Vixens wink fake lashes trying to trap me. 40 days and nights battling galore demons. This is not their land, hybrids can't be freemen. If this is not their land, who's the immigrant thinking they're sovereign? Imagination figment, recessive is their status, lacking pigment. Game for the Thanksgiving, but no commitment to indigenous Moors they conquered with Bibles, signs in the vitals and signs in the cycles, only to strangle, embracing my rivals. Free national standards, not playing with the tribals. Each Moor is their own Christ, not disciples. Whether hands or thoughts, no worshiping idols. Always carry my Moorish Quran or recitals. Everyone will not process ancients' arrivals. Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
Innate mystic ability to show and prove a lesson, coupled with the agility to move you with the message, presence of divine mind to navigate you with a reference, urgent with a purpose, perfect. Emergent urban legends, real more is not a question or a choice or a preference. You are who you are, you should have the same obsession. Broke the same jewels to a dude, the corner Jane and Western. What you reppin', all that effort, that direction, keep you separate in a world of blind sheep. I was born to be a shepherd, mind like an elephant. Got the paws of a leopard, means I'm wise and I'm strong. Crank you up like I'm a record, take you to the body shop, correct your lines to true vector manifestations. Matter, energy, and mind, spirit men unsung. Trey Young dropping dimes until you tighten up, you catching splinters from the pine. Clean the clouds out your thoughts, that's what keep you in the bind.
Initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious initiates of the sacred brotherhood of elite MCs. Raw mysterious.
Put that paper to your ear, can you hear your ancestors scream? Don't realize slave masters printed on your cream. Got you thinking value is measured by whips and cream around your neck. Got you sleep on methazine off Fiat cream. Can't even buy a bag of chips at the store without a piece of paper giving permission, but you ignore. Think you free but nailed to the floor like hardwood. Washington's teeth until he took your grandmother's, but your hood. Shoot your own brother down before you aim at the police. Counting cash, acting like a boss with amnesia. Knocked over the head, you alive but you dead. Shallow grave is what they keep you in. The Jay-Z pledge to keep you there. Thought I'd share, can't say you wasn't warned. Take your mitten, your scent, you jump in bushes of thorns. Your brother's dead, shot in the head. The next day you're back to the bread. The green mold got you off of your meds. If they took it all away, exactly what would define you? If that's all you want, wait till your ancestors find you. Recline you, say never mind you. Ali's voters grind you into dust to remind you.
When the ancestors scream, face shape in the side of a mountain. When the ancestors scream, new earth, lava out the ground like a fountain. When the ancestors scream, true birth, from the soul plane, the child return. When the ancestors scream, instead of hate we gotta love, so now we learn. Head shapes in the cloud you can clearly see. Hidden, forbidden archaeology. Pellet dancing in the midst of the fire sea. Silhouette, ancient mystery. It's in the blueprint. A law, the best planner. What's a national flag? That's a commerce banner. Mind your manner spammer. Trolls and package scammer. Go against the ancestor. Yo, it's a disaster. Then haste makes ways. Current ways of a nation. Put the black back in. A more conversation. The mace is a phase. Here to learn on this plane. When we reckon a lesson and then we graduate. When the ancestors scream. Face shape in the side of a mountain. when the ancestors scream. New earth, lava out the ground like a fountain. When the ancestors scream, true birth from the soul plane, the child return. When the ancestors scream, instead of hate we gotta love, so now we learn.
I heard the message and saw the marvelous light brighten up under beds and closets at night. Ancestral forces always sending messages, signs, or speak through me. Find the message in lines, get aware when unaware. You manifest fear, watching heads and eyes peek out the celestial tail, giving me signs from unexpected mediums. Voice of inhaled helium, not of gross bohemian. Dialectic Hegelian, some seem alien. Don't be fooled by the shape-shifting Romanian. Vampire stakes burned in garlic fires, or get wrapped up like orthodontic wires.
When the ancestors scream, face shape in the side of a mountain. When the ancestors scream, new earth, lava out the ground like a fountain. When the ancestors scream, true birth from the soul plane, the child return. When the ancestors scream, instead of hate we gotta love, so now we learn.
This that new batch.
Telling me shit through numbers though. I don't like counting, man. Back to the counting stuff. Ancestors, man.
Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefensio. We that do things tramp on top of B-Mac. Sounds like an E-flat, pain, quattro, doors, ablaze with my circle. Involve my C-ergo, leans back, but not that high. I'm a B, but I'm not that fly. Bugging you, I'm not that kind. Look like a mean mug, what did I do? Try to relax, let your feet hover, fall off your path at the least suck ya. I didn't mean that, you said you needed intensive care. I got the weed pack, caught 10 bags of your head. You said you need that, with the tail, I brought the whole steed. Giddy up, wasn't funny, what you call money. Bring the green back, but greed is always left intact. Papa, pro bono, et malo, pro indefenso, pro falso.
Pro bono, progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs, no, proclaim lower self, project higher than rockets. Profound like fork thongs in sockets. Protection lacking, project in a direction away from blacking or be lacking. In a zombie procession, most profession keep you from progressing, denying due processing. Prosecutor wants no impropria persona in full life for obia. Prodigal son, nautical, astronomical one. All pro, never implausible, cause probable. Proactive, not passive. Minds captive, problem children angry and hyperactive, needs more probiotic. Pro-black is pro-death, I'm proceeds and process. Pro-democracy, Moors keep me perplexed. Not hearing innocence, Kirkman Bay's Moors profess. Seating old Moors in the back with no protest. Spiritual work is in progress.
Speaking pro is best, a point I emphasize, no stress. Meaning attend to what is or is to be, what's not less. Communications a test and verbally I express my progress and high probability for profit we opt to get. This that new batch.
Telling me shit through numbers though. I don't like counting, man. Back to the counting stuff. Ancestors, man.
Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefensio. We that do things tramp on top of B-Mac. Sounds like an E-flat, pain, quattro, doors, ablaze with my circle. Involve my C-ergo, leans back, but not that high. I'm a B, but I'm not that fly. Bugging you, I'm not that kind. Look like a mean mug, what did I do? Try to relax, let your feet hover, fall off your path at the least suck ya. I didn't mean that, you said you needed intensive care. I got the weed pack, caught 10 bags of your head. You said you need that, with the tail, I brought the whole steed. Giddy up, wasn't funny, what you call money. Bring the green back, but greed is always left intact. Papa, pro bono, et malo, pro in defenso, pro
Pro
falso.
bono, progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs, no, proclaim lower self, project higher than rockets. Profound like fork tongues and sockets. Protection lacking, project in a direction away from blacking or be lacking. In a zombie procession, most profession keep you from progressing, denying due processing. Prosecutor wants no impropria persona in full life for obia. Prodigal son, nautical, astronomical one. All pro, never implausible, cause probable. Proactive, not passive. Mind's captive, problem. Children angry and hyperactive. Needs more probiotic. Pro-black is pro-death. I'm proceeds and process. Pro-democracy, Moors keep me perplexed. Not hearing innocence, Kirkman Bayes, Moors profess. Seating old Moors in the back with no protest. Spiritual work is in progress.
Speaking pro is best, a point I emphasize, no stress. Meaning attend to what is or is to be, what's not less. Communications and tests and verbally I express my progress and high probability for profit we opt to get. Opportunities that set our plots in check to apply the domino effect a story connects. More important than the past project, hence we document to step correct when we reflect. Plus self-respect to detect what's real and focus on growth. This is what it is and reduce the theme of this verse, so take note. I proactively promote the quotes that I wrote when enlightened. Stimulating my state to be one more great from inciting affirmations that heighten implementation and writing. Healthy reminders inciting the calming minded to fighting. Or more like a dance, the mental train. Know what I'm saying? Like Coach Nim said, it's often the weak that complain.
Pro bono, publico, pro facto, pro indefenso.
Pro bono, progress need no promo. Brainwashed by TV programs, no.
Speaking pro is best, my progress project. I proactively promote the quotes that I wrote.
In the spirit of a prophet in Islam, we study the ancient manuscripts, Moorish, Quran. Everything we do is halal, some haram. No, it sounds like the hook, but this is the song. When I see a brother, I greet him with salam. Want the whole truth about Hitler and Saddam. Devastated what you did in Vietnam. Out of the savannah, so they had to use bombs. It's been a few years, I read my Proverbs and Psalms. When I see my sisters, I tell them sit calm. It's your destiny, you hold it in your palm. Mr. Popularity never cared about the prom. One of life's great mysteries, young phenom. I am that I am, that's word to my mom. Moved out the rough edges, eliminate the arms. Know what you're pledging, no Uncle Tom. Coming for our territory, taking back Guam. With that old time good spell, I wave my magic wand. Now omnipresent vibration sound is on. It's on.
Don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take my mother's and the father's great gift to stay. Great masterpiece for masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This law gon' give me the bread. Yo, Moors don't give it away. They play your life but try to take you. Can you count how many times I'll try and break you? Try to got a great clue. Struggle size 8 shoot. A mind of my own with a great truth. I sip a little great goose while swerving on the state truth. While plotting my escape of they rules, they schools, they jewels. They couldn't help my shine like chemicals. I'm at the top of my class on the pedestal. I throw that lead at you, that's HB number 2. And keep my name out your mouth unless it's about to spread my youth. Quarter come up with the money that you run up when this chrome game turn up in my young guards aim and shoot with your lame excuse. No, I never that. This a full force sound system, level that. Yo, you only talking fiat where your levels at. This is God body, show me where the devil at. I'll let you read what this life about. We the lawmakers, architects, and still they doubt. We keep it factual with math and science practical. They love to hate the natural. Pain with the gain, no clout. A little fame couldn't stray, I remain on route. I move mountains, earthquakes on speakers. Something off to counting these occurrences. They speechless for the world, I'm the teacher. I'm sure like the beaches, keeping everything du jour. I'm the one with the features that they envy. We the reason that they seek us to take us out every season. So, Moors don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take my mother's and the father's great give me the stay. Create the masterpiece for masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This law gon' get me the bread. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away.
good. Good. Goddess outstanding, keeps order, she du jour. We do it in the spirit of a prophet in Islam. We study the ancient manuscripts, Moorish, Quran. Everything we do is halal, some haram. No, it sounds like the hook, but this is the song. When I see a brother, I greet him with salam. Want the whole truth about Hitler and Saddam. Devastated what you did in Vietnam. Out of this savannah, so they had to use bombs. It's been a few years, I read my Proverbs and Psalms. When I see my sisters, I tell them sit calm. It's your destiny, you hold it in your palm. Mr. Popularity never cared about the prom. One of life's great mysteries, young phenom. I am that I am, that's word to my mom. Moved out the rough edges, eliminate the arms. Know what you're pledging, no Uncle Tom. Coming for our territory, taking back Guam. With that old time good spell, I wave my magic wand. Now omnipresent vibration sound is on. It's on.
Don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take my mother's and the father's great gift to stay. Great masterpiece for masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This love gon' give me the bread. Yo, Moors don't give it away. They play your life but try to take you. Can you count how many times I'll try and break you? Try to guide a great clue. Struggle size 8 shoot. A mind of my own with a great truth. I sip a little great goose while swerving on the state truth. While plotting my escape of they rules, they schools, they jewels. They couldn't help my shine like chemicals. I'm at the top of my class on the pedestal. I throw that lead at you, that's HB number 2. And keep my name out your mouth unless it's about to spread my youth. Quarter come up with the money that you run up when this chrome game turn up in my young guards aim and shoot with your lame excuse. No, I never that. This a full force sound system, level that. Yo, you only talking fiat where your level's at. This is God body, show me where the devil at. I'll let you read what this life about. We the lawmakers, architects, and still they doubt. We keep it factual with math and science practical. They love to hate the natural. Pain with the gain, no clout. A little fame couldn't stray, I remain on route. I move mountains, earthquakes on speakers. Something off the counting these occurrences, they speechless. For the world, I'm the teacher. I'm sure like the beaches, keeping everything du jour. I'm the one with the features that they envy. We the reason that they seek us to take us out every season. So, Moors don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take my mother's and the father's great give me the stay. Drake the masterpiece, the masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like a masterpiece. This law gon' get me the bread. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Why am I in this?
Good. Good. Goddess outstanding, keeps order, she du jour. I thought Orisha Omega deity, she a Moor. Amongst the elite, but relate to the core. She command the fleet first to step on the shore. Snooze never sleep, won't hear me snore.
Hey yo, play me once, you'll never snake me twice. Break this smoke, you'll never save my life. Never rolling with that piece, you'll respect my life. Respect my life, yo. Moors don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Every time that I accelerate, they copy. I'm the master. Take my mother's and the father's great. Give me the stay. Drake the masterpiece. The masters trying to masterpiece. This time I'm like the masterpiece. This law gon' get me the bread. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Yo, Moors don't give it away. Respect my life. 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 Never. Hello. ¿Cómo está? Hey. You know the PM studio, man. 7998 Premier Road. Yeah, throw it up. Hello. Buenas noches. Why did I go to the end of the song for real?
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with most they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma sentence again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out, just the silence men.
This is what it feels like. 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 People running up to me that I don't know. Are you a prince? They ask, tell them I'm from Morocco. Look me up and down with a smile, not a frown. Turn their brain to water, watch the lower self drown. Wanna touch my antennas and steal my energy. Eyes bulge, telling them I'm always King Edward V. When it comes to facts, with most they get beggarly. They ask Morocco where? The farthest northwesterly. With every question asked, I respond cleverly. All dependents won't explain expertly. Going in their wallets, pull out pictures with feathers, breaking down the ring, then the mason confesses. He's at 33 degrees, now the convo stretches like yoga into esoteric metaphysic lessons. When my people aren't like me, he impresses. When we take Moorish science to the highways and hedges. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
They tried to get you to think again. That's the prophet. I'm upright, don't need a friend. And you can't stop this. I'ma write with my pen. Violate me and I'ma sentence again. Remain cautious, cause often it's in again. That's in the police out, just the silence men. When they bust through your door, you won't breathe again. Nationality will show you how to live again. It can change the predicament you're living in. You can heal the whole world without medicine. Only truth can make you a better man. Why lie? Cause you got paid to murder men. Then you try to lock them up when they riot in. That's okay, cause for freedom I'm diving in. With no knowledge, you come back to die again. Resurrect me not, cause I'd rather be one with Allah.
This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like.
Yes, Q&A Wednesday. Once again, Islam to all the Moors. See what kind of questions we have for today for number 77. See where it goes. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Honors to Noble Drew Ali. Honors to Noble Drew Ali. And so more send a request and all that stuff. We'll be here all night. And then this Moor talking about this small island Moor over here. This small island Moor over here talking about 45 minutes of music. Understand the Moors. Understand the Moors. So the first stop, the next Moorish meetup. So the tour has evolved. The tour has evolved because Moors see something and Moors want to do something, so we're gonna do something. So tour turned into meetups now, and the meetup's been crazy. Just get at khalifamedia.com or mercycharities.org or riseofthemoors.com. Get updated on what's going on, where things are at with the Moors. It's the Moors. You have farmers markets and friendship gardens and all this. So it's all about living right now. That's all it's about. It's all about living. Right? BS is always going to be there. It's always going to be there. But it's all about living. It's honor to these Moors who just got their Moorish American month for Chicago, Mecca. Of course, because that's where Noble Drew Ali was at. Why wouldn't they honor some stuff? Right. So amending the State Commemorative Dates Act designate the month of August of each year as Moorish Awareness Month to be observed throughout the state as a month to recognize the valuable contributions of Moorish Americans to this state and to the various aspects of American society, effective immediately. And remember, Trump's getting rid of all the black BS. Right? So you can play around all you want, because if the black BS is gone, then that means the month's gone. So where you going? You're gonna go to some Native American whatever, or you're gonna have to come to the Moorish stuff. Those are your options. And everybody knows the Indians are the associates of the Moors. And in 1621, the word Indian was the substitute for Moorish. So honors to these Moors, because you see it says Moorish Americans there, right? It doesn't say which temple number and all that BS like these people try to play on you. You notice that, right? You notice it's not saying which temple, which Supreme Grand Sheik or whatever like that and all that stuff, just the Moorish Americans. Right? That's all it says. Moorish Americans. So don't worry about throughout the state and all that stuff as if this stuff doesn't apply to you if you're a Moorish American and you're not near Illinois. You'll be a big dummy to think that you're a Moorish American. You're a Moorish American. And you're not near Illinois. You're not near Illinois. And you're seeing this and you're thinking this has nothing to do with you. Somebody played you. Somebody lied to you to make you think that you're not Moorish American because the Chicago temple didn't tell you that you're Moorish American and nationality card from the Chicago temple. Because the Indianapolis temple, that's the original, because when Noble Drew Ali left and went over there, and then they start going into their little BS. Not playing no groups and all of that. Didn't say Supreme Grand Advisor and all that stuff. None of that. Moorish Americans. Why? Why they don't even got to mention Noble Drew Ali? They don't even got to mention Noble Drew Ali. That's how solidified Moorish American is. They don't even got to mention him, because it's known that North America is Moorish America. It's known. You think all these black guys come from? Some ships brought us here? No, we're Moorish American. We've been here. Jolly told these Moors in the 20s about Atlantis and the Moorish jurisdiction going across Atlantis onto the present North, South, Central America and adjoining islands. Moorish American there. You Moorish American? You are? All right. So August, wherever you're at, since you're bored and you don't know what to do, you want to make videos and stuff like that, how about this August, you do something as a Moorish American for your nation? August is Moorish American Awareness Month. If you have been on the fence and you've been passive and all that stuff, remember when they said Black History Month and you used to go and do all your black whatever? And you used to go to the black lectures and you used to go to read the black books and you used to go learn about black guys who made stuff? Okay, well, that stuff is over. Now you have to recalibrate that to August, because the black BS is over. And now, according to effective immediately, and remember, this is the state people who these people are to say that that's the president and that's the so this is the authority for them. This is the authority to them. Run out and go vote in elections and go get shots and all that stuff for these people. And this is their people. This is not some Moorish something telling you this. This is the same people. These people say the cracker and all that. The white man and all that stuff. This is him talking. Telling these people about Moorish American Awareness Month. Why? So you better get aware. That's like the Moor just said in the chat. Moor's probably been filling his head. Now I want to hear anything. Goes to his man, lawyer guy. Go to his man, lawyer guy. Lawyer guy's telling him, you better go study what the Moors are talking about. He's calling me. How's that work? How's that work? Obviously, there must be something to this. Obviously, there has to be something to this. These people just pass some stuff just like that. Just, oh yeah, August, they're Moorish American, yeah, and then get out the way. Because what? Everything's getting ground to powder. Jolly told him, don't stay out the way. You're part and parcel. Because when the stuff gets ground to powder, somebody's going to have to take the position. And tell these Moors, get ready. The stuff's going to fall in your lap. You're never going to know what to do with yourself when it falls in your lap. And then all these Moors who've been on this, then they're already experiencing it. That's something they're trying to get to. They already are experiencing it right now. But these people are complaining about that. They don't have. So honors to the Moors, putting in work for the Moorish Americans. And then you could just go look up Bill HB 3486. And then you tell me they don't know who the Moors are. They're sitting here debating Moors. And they're sitting trying to prove something opposed to get to work. How about just get to work? Look what these Moors did in their little jurisdiction. But remember, it doesn't say for these Moors in this little jurisdiction. Right? It's to recognize the contributions of Moorish Americans to that state. The contributions to that state, but Moorish Americans, if they contributed to that state, they probably contributed to all of them. I'm not going to go around again to give out proclamations again to prove the same point again. This stuff been on the record that they know who the Moorish Americans are. They know. This is their website. So the question is, why don't you know? Why are you sucking on rocks with seasoning salt on it? Talking about dinner. Your hubby comes home from a hard day's work and you got rock soup. You don't have to eat anything. Just suck the rocks. What more you need? You still need more? Still? That's why stuff is only 20 minutes. I will play an hour of music. That's absolute madness, insanity. What more you want? This is just now. This is just now. Yesterday. This is yesterday. And you're here debating Moors? You're debating Moors. This is their people. Oh yeah. And then the other Moor, since we're there. And the other Moor talking about the West Virginia seal. The West Virginia seal has a fez on it. Why would anybody even look if they're not near West Virginia? No, more in West Virginia. Hey, you know the flag, the state flag, and the seal and all that stuff has fez on it. Do you still need more stuff to convince you? You need more still? You're still playing around like we don't know what we're talking about? Really? The The ancient Egyptians made the Moors the custodians of the ancient Kemetic knowledge. And then Asir's just talking about ancient Egyptian stuff with the hand on the heart, like Noble Drew Ali pictures. And Noble Drew Ali is a Moor. They're the custodians of the Moorish. You're still lost. You're still asleep. But because you're so asleep, that's why these people could have your fez in their stuff. Because you threw your stuff down on the ground like a big dummy. It's not their headwear, because they already got their headwear on their head. So whose stuff is that? What's that doing down there? Think it's theirs when they're wearing their own hat already? Big dummy. Honest to the Moors that study. It's a great thing to know thyself. It's a great thing. It's a great thing to know thyself. Knowing thyself is see what the questions are saying. Peace God, I watched your interview on NYP Talk Show and you mentioned to unify all groups should just put Moorish on it. Can you explain it more? So you see how you want me to explain it more? And then we have to use more for that? Right? It's that's all there is. Right? There's a block, or even the master teachers talking about the sorcery that they have on our people, that they can't see this. That for you to go into it with more detail, and the detail is based on more. What more you need? But we'll slow it down. We'll slow it down. Ring the alarm. We'll slow it down. Okay, the Rastafarians. Right? The Rastafarians' God, Haile Selassie, wears a golden fez. Anybody who will research the fez, anybody who has something to say with the fez for it or against it or whatever, either it came from the Moors or it came from the Masons. That's just what it is. There's nobody else you're gonna pull up say, oh yeah, it came from these people. That's the general public. So if Haile Selassie is the emperor of a jurisdiction, so he's the emperor, and he has a fez on. Now it's possible that he might be a Mason. And it's also possible that he might be a Moor, because he's wearing a fez. When you look at it from the perspective of how the Rastas are looking at it, right? Haile Selassie is validation of what Noble Drew Ali was talking about in the 20s, that Charles Edwards found out. And he said, Emmanuel, forget the Charles Edwards and all that stuff. I ain't going to be no European. Said Emmanuel, and he was pushing the Rastas to United Nations declarations of having a right to a nationality. That was Emmanuel I, who all these Rastas know. Now, if he's telling them about nationality, you don't hear no Rastas say they talk about nationality. He's telling them not just nationality, but UN declarations of rights. You have a right to a nationality. Haile Selassie is coronated 1930, right? So this is right after Noble Drew Ali is assassinated. And then the Moorish Jews, not the Jews, the Moorish Jews, Harlem, they get personal invite to partake in the festivities, right, quote unquote, coronation of one of the greatest monarchs on the planet. Because that's ancient over there. That's not some stuff that just came yesterday. He's from a line that's ancient. And guess what? He looks just like you. And guess what? He has a fez on. So this means he has a nationality. So yes, of course, he's a Moor. Why does he have a golden fez if he's not a Moor? And then the succession of the fezzes, all of them are the golden fez. Everybody's fez is a golden fez. Um, 1980s. Farrakhan getting the finance from Gaddafi, because Gaddafi is the man, getting the finance to do whatever it is that they're going to do with it. Trying to get kidnapped by U.S. because that's their guy. How you going and taking stuff from this guy when you're our guy? He was talking crazy to them. Talking crazy. They're like, oh yeah? All right, you have to come back here, right? And they were waiting for him. And then mysteriously, he got back here. And nobody touched him after that. After that, he was hands off. Why? How was he hands off? Because of Gaddafi? You really think because of Gaddafi? And then they got Gaddafi out the way, and then he's still here. You don't realize that there was El Hajj and him, and then El Hajj gets assassinated, and then he's still here. And you don't think something's going on? I remember talking about put the Moorish on it. When you go back to the Nation of Islam's founding, you have Fruits of Islam wearing fezzes. You have Elijah Muhammad wearing a fez. No. Remember, the fez, it's either Masons or the Moorish. Well, marked fezzes mean Mason. So if they have a marked fez, then it could be a Mason. But it can also be a Moor, because you can do whatever you want. You're a Moor. Just be ready for the repercussions of whatever you're claiming that you're doing. You think this stuff is a game. So yeah, they could be Moors. And on top of that, research them, and they got Bay and all that stuff. They're in pictures with Noble Drew Ali and all that stuff. Okay, so yeah. All right. So they were dealing with the Moorish paradigm back then. You're not hearing them talking about that today. You hear them talk about it today? Just like the Rastafarians. You hear them talking about United Nations declarations and their right to a nationality and saying what their nationality is, not playing that black BS, because they should learn from their God that man has a nationality. Even your God has a nationality. So if your God has a nationality, then you can't tell me you don't have one, or you can't tell me you're making up stuff to be your nationality. You're not falling for it. You're not under the spell. We're definitely not asleep. So they get Garvey out the way. And then Carlos Cooks keeps the African Legion going. All of them fezzes up. Now the fez is either Moorish or the Mason. But their stuff didn't have any marks on it or anything like that. They just looked like military, but instead of having berets and all that stuff, they got fezzes. L. Rockins. And then you're going to go research Chief Malik, Jeff Fort, and then he's an L and all that stuff. And then the gangs knew what love, truth, peace, freedom, justice was, and their emblem was a 5-point star and all that stuff, and which is the flag. And no, they wore feathers and all that. When you see the feathers, it's either Mason or it's Moorish. Well, considering they were a gang, they had their own masonry, concerned with some European whatever. But then they start doing good and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden people get set up and like that, and then they're doing 500 years. And you don't think that they did that because they were... And then everything went back to everybody murdering each other for BS? And then all the gang whoever's know the history and they know what's up? But then when you look at this today, where's the gangbangers with the feathers on and all that stuff? Where are they at? No, they're nowhere to be found. No, all right. So they did it with that too. Got the Moorish out of it and then kept whatever, and now you're left with BS. The Kemetic whoever's, all the Kemetic whoever's, that all of them know if they're dealing with ancient Egypt, then they're dealing with hieroglyphics. And then Moors and hieroglyphics. And Moor, the high priest of Anu. But they never told you about the high priest of Anu. They tell you about pharaohs and queen this and whatever. How come they not tell you about the high priest of Anu? Who are the Moors? Which again goes right and direct with stolen legacy. The Moors being the custodians, because of course it would be the high priest who would be the custodians of the ancient knowledge. Why would it be some teacher, whoever? The high priest was the man, or the high priestess, the Sibyls, which is a whole other conversation. And all of them were Moorish. That's where you got all the coat of arms with the sisters with the earrings and the serpents around their neck and all that stuff. That was all the symbols in them with the family crest. Then there's the blackamoor. Or the Moorish brooch and all that. But then when you get to this time and you talk to Egypt, whoever's, they ain't telling you about no high priest of Anu. They're telling you about everything else. So the unification is the nationality. The group is you can do whatever you want. I don't care. You wanna go beat the drum or whatever like that, and that's all you want to do. Hey, do that. Just put Moorish on it. Because that's the unity, the nation, the nationality is the unity, not the we agree because your holy book says and my holy book says and mine verse 4 and yours verse 22, and then those things coincide. So that means no, it's nationality. We're the same nationality. That's the only way that we're gonna have unity. Go be whatever you want to claim is your way of whatever. Do that. Let's put Moorish on it. Right? Even with the black whoever's, right? The black whoever's do minuscule research, and that'll lead you right back into blackamoor. So how the black guy is not even on it when the foundation of being black comes from blackamoor. Right? They called you a blackamoor before they could just call you black. Then you look at the black guys today, they're definitely not talking about being Moors. So somebody's playing you. Which is why we keep bringing up that we know Moors in different schools of thought. We know Moors that are Buddhists. They're not saying Islamism and all that stuff is their religion. They're Buddhists. But they got Eller Bay in the nationality. But they're Buddhists though. And I'm not trying to convert them. They're not trying to convert me or anything like that. They're living by their principles in Buddhism. They can take the Holy Quran and then they can read some Buddhist books too or whatever. Why? Because they have a nationality. They're not the religion. They have a nationality. Their nationality is Moorish. Their religion, they're Buddhist. You tell me you see two Chinese people. One of them's Christian, one of them's Buddhist, and then they're bickering with each other about who we are and all that. No. Both of them are Chinese. That's it. Nationality. It's that simple. It's only hard for our people. Because again, of the sorcery, because it has to be sorcery. Why? The spell's not breaking for certain people. It has to be sorcery. It can't be anything else. This stuff's not that advanced. This stuff is not that. It's not that advanced. Put Moorish on it. Because whatever it is that you're doing obviously isn't working. Look at the conditions of our people. We have a template to show that the Moorish stuff worked. Nobujuali had the world on lockdown. He was the heir to the Moorish Empire. anybody who chose to proclaim their nationality and support him, they became a beneficiary. And what you're a beneficiary of is secured for you through the Moorish Divine National Movement, Moorish Holy Temple of Science, Moorish Science Temple of America, Moorish Manufacturing Company, and anything else that was Noble Drew Ali. And that's how he protected it for you. He protected it for you. Because you have to realize that he's the prophet. So he saw all this stuff that people are complaining about right now. He saw all this stuff coming. That's why everything was set up already. Then these goofballs come in here, they take leadership positions, and then they lose everything. And then talking about, oh yeah, you got what? No, you have. Yeah, the more I keep saying, the sorcerers, they did a good job. Because they didn't even pull game on the dummies, but they got some of the supposed to be intelligent people who are around Noble Drew Ali and all that. They got to them. How you around the prophet and you're getting got to? You're seeing all the prophecies manifesting in your face or whatever like that, and you're selling out your own stuff. That question, we'll go back to that one, that next one. That next question, we'll hold that one. Go to this one. Peace. I've heard Moors always speak against civil rights. I'm trying to understand, but Moors are supposed to be for rights. Civil rights. We'll go here. Go ahead and put this in the chat. If you can, you can cut and paste that. So when you stuff is just crazy right now. Everything's online, right? All you have to do is just go check. Everything's online. Nothing, can't hide. So this is Civic Lesson Book 5. Like newssyllabus.org. Who is this? But this is what it actually is. This stuff is over. This stuff is over. Let me see if there's more ones to get on here. Islam, go ahead. Islam, yeah, the lady called me. But
Okay,
yeah. So she's gonna email me the stuff and we'll go from there. I got the email, but I didn't open it yet.
Okay, perfect.
All right. But yeah, just link me back. But yeah, she linked me.
All right, perfect. That's all
Yeah, I know. I know. Yeah. All right. Love word. It's love. Yeah. So civil rights. Let's blow this up a little bit. So chapter 7. Chapter 7, and then it's the 77, and you still think that we don't know what we're talking about? All right. Civil rights at law brings to mind the attempts on many fronts and angles by the United States colonial government federal and the several states to deal with the degenerating and anti-sovereign problems of the dark and light olive subjugated slaves labeled black, Negro, colored, etc., and their progeny. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 to 1868 is the feigned cover-up, devoid at law piece of legislation. It is unconstitutional and devoid of sovereign law. Indeed, it is a diversion of the true problem which faced the United States colonial society. That problem being the fact that the European companies in conspiracy robbed and enslaved Moors, called Negro, black, colored, Afro, etc., in the slave state, of their birthrights and sovereignty. The Union States colonial companies of European guilds occupying the Americas, styled and chartered as the United States of America, introduced through their Congress and established the Freedmen's Bureau in the year 1865, 1285 Moorish calendar year. 1865 is the beginning of the 12 years of the Reconstruction period, 1865 to 1877. Right, just a backdrop there, and then I want to go to here. The term civil rights, the constitutionally disharmonious 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments are the foundation of the Civil Rights Bill and all relative legislation attached to them. The 13th Amendment was passed in 1865. The 14th Amendment was passed 1868. And the 15th Amendment was passed 1870. The term civil rights in the United States of America is used to specify the rights in truth only privileges granted or secured through the 14th Amendment to the Bill of Rights, not the Constitution. The Constitution, with its organic 7 articles, has never been changed. The Civil Rights Bill is further put to question at law because the 14th Amendment uses a color code caste system to identify people instead of national pedigree names. This devoids such person of any claim to any sovereignty or unalienable rights and immunities under national or international law, as sovereignty is universally only rooted in nationality. So it's using a color code system. As soon as you hear civil rights, automatically, color code system. Oh, they're not talking about human beings. Okay, that has nothing to do with me. Because you can't use a color code caste system to identify people. Because sovereignty is only rooted in nationality. If you have no nationality, you have no sovereignty. When you have no sovereignty, you're probably a ward. There is no such thing as full citizenship to people branded Negro, Black, or colored, not because of racism, not because of prejudice, not because somebody does not like them. There is no such people ever to exist on the planet Earth attached to the human family. Negro, Black, colored, Afro, etc. are code brands for enslaved Moors, which separate them from the human family. Therefore, branded people without national names and a national written constitution have no rights to be debated or respected in the first place. Why don't the so-called leaders who know that constitutions are the law tell the branded people the truth of their negative code status? Why don't the so-called leaders who know that constitutions are the law tell the branded people the truth of their negative code status? It is because slave traders and their agents and benefactors quickly get amnesia as their tongues forked with confused double talk. Do they study the Constitution contract? Are the masses of people being made aware that modern slavery is enforced through voluntary and involuntary compliance by threat and coercion? Answer these questions, then judge the above issues by the condition of the people. The answer is obvious. The answer is obvious. So it's not Moors are against some civil rights, so we're against rights. Is that the rights come with you because of your nationality. If you have no nationality, rights are out of the discussion. You could pretend like it is, but civil rights aren't rights. Those are privileges. And then you look at it from that perspective and then move forward from there, then you'll realize that there's a line drawn between wardship and being free. Yeah, it's messed up what these people did. Instead of telling you the truth, sell you out. It is what it is. Don't get mad, per se. Don't get mad, per se. Peace and love, GS. In the divine warning by the prophet for nations, the prophet said, day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. The prophet calls for active Moors and not passive Moors. He also encourages us to enforce the laws and constitution and never use the terms legal, statutory, etc. in any of his directions for us. My question is, what constitutes or would be some examples of being an active Moor versus a passive Moor, particularly in regards to enforcing the Constitution? Well, there has to be a situation presenting itself for you to be the one to enforce it. Remember, stuff's been there before you were here. So it's already there. People are already supposed to be following it. Up to now, they're still not following it. But when you have people who are docile, passive, the active versus the passive. Okay, the passive are the ones that do nothing. Because when you're talking about enforcing the Constitution, it's the same thing with the declarations of rights, that the things already exist. This is just an agreement to show what exists. Now, you living according to the Constitution is because it exists. So the active part of it is in your everyday life, not just some letter came in the mail, now you're going to enforce the Constitution. And then you're looking at all the different constitutions. Because the divine constitution and bylaws. There's that. There's zodiac constitution. In the metaphysical side, constitution is not just body, but also spirit. And then spirit is breath, and then you go into Hinduism, and they're talking about constitutions over there. So I think where the confusion comes in is that people think active means go into court or have some situation that you active is showing up at your children's whatever awards at school. That's active. And then you're there fezzed up and turbaned up and all that. That's active. Like active is your children bringing home report card with 100 and everything. And they don't give you any issues. And they do everything they're supposed to do. And then when you go out in the street, you're hearing good things about your children because you brought them up right. That's active. Versus passive. Notice Moor's doing his best or whatever like that. Have him on some 80 grand child support or whatever. Passive. Just being lazy. Just being lazy. Not doing anything. Absolutely nothing. Not helping anybody. Not helping yourself. Not helping an ant. Not helping. Nothing. You're just there. You're just a slug. Just slug leeching. Passive. So when you say in regards to enforcing the Constitution, the active is happening even the Constitution is not there. The Constitution doesn't have to be there for you to be active. And the enforcement is going to be you. What are you doing that's in harmony with that? If you're doing something unconstitutional, the energies will tell you. You'll know. When you choose to override stuff in order to well, I'm going to justify 7,000 for a package because servant is worthy of his hire and all that stuff. That's not what enforcing the Constitution. That's robbing people under the guise of enforcing the Constitution because this stuff is not 7,000. It's not. But that's robbery. You can't tell me you don't have a place that's your own domicile. You're renting some hotel or something like that. and I'm going with what you say is how it is supposed to go. Yeah, right. Please, who you fooling? Maybe some big dummy out there. Where there's a lot of big dummies out there, people are buying seasoned rocks. So there are dummies. The key with active versus passive is not getting caught up in thinking proving yourself to some modern European is you being active. You being active is in your life. How are you living by the principles? That's being active. What did you do loving today? What did you do truthful today? And then go through all of them every day. Right? Justice doesn't mean, punch somebody in the face. Justice means who do you protect? Live by the principles and be active. How about that for activity? How about enforce that? Because again, as man unfolds, as God unfolds. The more you know, the more active you'll be. The more you know, the more active you'll be. It's a simple equation. If you're not active, it's probably you're playing around about you know who you are. You're not serious. You didn't roll over and get stabbed with a book corner in your sleep. You know what studying is yet. You still have your laptop on your lap studying. Okay. You haven't gotten the old book with the page smell and all that stuff yet. Because you're moving too wayward. Because they think active and get lost in the show. That when you try to stop draw, you even said, don't flash your cards at Europeans. That's stuff's for your salvation. Causing confusion. And then we had the situation happen where we flashed the card at European. European said, no, this is different than the ones that I usually see. How come yours is different? Is this a native? This is Native American? I never saw this one. Don't get lost. The point is, don't get lost. Because there's people, they get into this and they start studying, and then next thing you see them, talking to themselves and all types of stuff. Like real conversations. So Jolly said, you're not gonna wake all the Moors up at once. You can't wake all these Moors up at once. People have issues that they don't want to deal with. They're Moors. You're right. Those are the most issues. And all the lessons were given to us to save ourselves. You have Moors telling you 3,000. And that's supposed to be your brother. You know that people are under the spell. You know that they're under the spell. It's just about being aware. When you start getting into this realm, knowing who we are, exercising our nationality and our birthrights, it starts with life. Let everything be in life be running smooth because you're Moorish and you know what it is. The thing's not running smooth, it's probably because it's some stuff that's trying to not keep you off being Moorish. Because you're going to get challenged. You're going to try hard to get you to throw in the towel. They want you to submit and remain the wardship. They want you to remain the ward. It's not about papers and cards and all that. It's about being. What type of frequency are you on before you even start talking about having cards and all that? Before you start talking about having paperwork or writing a writ, how's your energy? You sure you're straight? Because this stuff spits people out, doesn't care. Talking from experience, spits people out. Then they just fold after because they didn't build up enough spiritual courage. You know, they weren't prepared when these people swung at them. And they only were prepared because they listened to some dummy over there, you know, who told them $3,000. And all you got to do is send this in. And then they sent it in and didn't know what to do after. Because whoever they give the $10,000 now, they're not responding. You know, they can't get a hold of them. So they got to call me or whatever like that to complain on them people who stole their finance. At that point, you played yourself. Because how they convince you to spend some finance on your birthrights? Well, how they convince you that? Oh yeah, you weren't studying. And if you were studying, it wasn't from the right sources. You were studying from some dummies. That's why you end up getting played. You know, that's why we say 3 years. Go study for 3 years for real. Not that play around studying that people are talking about. They watch 50 videos, so they studied. Not that studied. Not that studied. You are way off with all that. Way off. Super off. Yeah, no dictionary. Crazy. Crazy. Those are the ones that claim they know. They got ID card and they got whatever. Studying nothing. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Supreme honors. Supreme love. Truth, peace, freedom, justice to all the Moors in the chat. Honors to Noble Drew Ali. He did such great work. And it's amazing to be able to live it, to know what it is. It's amazing. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honors to all Moors worldwide. Honors to all Moors worldwide. And don't forget, stay in touch with what's going on for the meetups. Islam to all the Moors.